Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is all right. It's Tuesday, it's 1 o'clock, which means, it's Never Mind the Buy Box. Joined by Jonny this week, beaming in live from South Africa. How's it going, Jonny? Back from the wilderness?
Back from the wilderness. Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Stayed in a really spectacular Airbnb this weekend. So it was on a sort of ranch, where it's like a four-bed, massive sort of house on a ranch. On that ranch, you had giraffes, zebras,
Wow.
bull, apparently a few leopards there, and it's all to yourself. So it's like it's basically your own sort of safari in your garden. So it's kind of insane. Uh, and it wasn't that expensive, by the way. It was 40 bed, no, four bed, massive sort of like kind of converted barn. It was £70 per night, and you get your own private safari in the back garden, which was a massive estate, which is about 3 or 4 kilometers to walk around. And obviously you go for a hike, and you're walking past like groups of giraffes and zebras, and it's the most insane, surreal thing I've ever done in my life. So if you ever do South Africa, anyone, go on the garden route and then just sort of go a little bit off track, and you'll find these sort of like farms that you can stay at for very cheap, and it's just insane. It's ridiculous. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever been in my life. Yeah.
Well, what an amazing bucket list kind of experience. And as we always say, all paid for by your Amazon business, and everything like that. Your ultimate goals in terms of living your best life whilst running this business, from wherever you are. Not just this business, obviously, guys, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. Everyone should be aware by now that we've launched a new business as part of Ecom Inner Circle. A couple of different dimensions to it, which we'll come in and talk about a little bit later. But we just want to catch up with everyone. By the way, from my point of view as well, that's something from a safari point of view I always wanted to do, and I always thought staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge in Disney World was enough for me, because you just look out the window and there's the giraffes there, but slightly different experience, right?
Yeah, it was completely different. I've done the stuff in America. This is no one's. They're not in cages. They're just sort of in the farm with you, sort of in the open. A bunch of ostriches and stuff like that. And they're all quite safe animals. So like they don't attack you. They just kind of watch from afar. So it was spectacular. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So for me again, like with business, it's all about it's optimizing the value for money. Actually, for me, that's the main thing that I like to do with traveling. You can get those experiences where you stay in a ridiculous place like that for 70 quid a night. And I think what the business of e-commerce and what this gives you is that ability to optimize your cost of living and travel the world. And you can do it with a warehouse or without, with not a warehouse. So hopefully I've proven that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
it's amazing.
ultimately, I think you're the embodiment of the probably yourself, someone like Tom Parkinson as well, equally. I think that you're both the embody of that classic kind of 4-hour work week, that whole philosophy, build a business, make it passive, in terms of, I know your business is not passive because you're doing it slightly differently, but you only work the time that you work, and then you optimize your life. You live the life of a millionaire without actually technically, I mean, I don't know what's in your bank account, but without actually being a millionaire. Essentially that's the root of that particular theory, I suppose.
Yeah, I actually learned from Tom a lot. And, I actually learned from Tom to work less almost, or try to work less. The thing for me is I would optimize my businesses so they become passive, but then I'll start a new business, and then that would take up all my time. So the key is to stop creating businesses at some point, and make sure that you get to a point where they do become passive, and then just don't start creating new ones. Just sort of keep working on those ones. But yeah, I learn a lot from Tom. He's great. I like Tom and the way he works. He's a bit more on the extreme of the 4-hour work week. I'm more of the
Yes.
grafter. I'm the grafter. I could with my Amazon business is pretty much 4-hour week, but yeah, everything else obviously is not.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyone else in the comments here, I'm going to say hello to anyone in a minute that doesn't believe Jonny a word when he says that he's going to stop doing new businesses and not working, because I don't believe you for 1 minute.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Obviously, there's a lot of hours going into the Hive and BeeStocked, as everyone knows, and hopefully you've seen from the little clip yesterday. You know, it's a little part of the business, but leading that project takes. I want the best product possible for someone, and someone I don't accept releasing a bad product. And if anyone knows me, I put my everything to make sure that people get the best experience. And that's the most fulfilling part for me, is making sure everything works great and everyone enjoys what I put out there. It's like that Bezos mentality, isn't it? And customer first, and I really think that's true. Make sure you put
Yeah.
customers first and make sure everyone has the best product possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think definitely from that snippet, that you released, sort of sent a few people wild, but we'll come on and talk about that in a moment. I just want to say hello to everyone. Jay says, good afternoon, guys. Happy Pancake Day. Indeed, back at you. The reason why I might look a little bit windswept is 2 minutes before we went live on this, I was in the car running back from Sainsbury's because I forgot it was Pancake Day. And I thought, if I wait until after school, when everyone else does, to go and get the flour and the eggs and the lemon juice, then it's going to be carnage. So yeah, I forgot, and so we're having pancakes for dinner. But yeah, bit too much information. So my advice is, once you finish watching this, if you haven't gone out and got your pancake stuff, go and get it for sure. Yvonne's here. David, hi guys. Hi Cindy. She says, afternoon ladies, and then added gents as well. Thanks for that. Lindsay, Aftab. Cindy said she saw the animals. Amazing. Ola, or Aloha, sorry. Who's Aloha? Where's that one come from? Would be cool if it was Hawaii, but I'm probably thinking it's not. We've got Mark, we've got loads of you guys, Bobby, Matt, all the Matts are in the house. Oh yes, do you know what I was thinking? That Cindy, my shirt does match your story.
Yeah, a little bit.
About the animals, definitely. There's loads of you jumping on. So before we get started, because we do want to spend a little bit of time, because the Hive offer launch offer does finish today. And you know us guys, we're not about the hard sell, but we do want everybody to be able to take advantage of that, because over the last couple of weeks we've tried to get across in terms of what value it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those things in terms of, there'll be a certain amount of people that just want to wait and see and hear other people's feedback and that type of thing, and we totally respect that. It's going to cost you more when you eventually sign up, but it's we understand that people have to wait for those kind of things. So we're going to run through a few things just to re-clarify, and we're going to play Jonny's video again if you've got it. If not, don't worry. God, the sun always shines in at this moment, and all of a sudden I look like I'm sat in a really dark room. It looks really weird. I'm like blinding myself. Clouds, go over. I need some cloud cover. But before I do that, I haven't really heard people talking about sales much lately. So I just wanted to kind of check in with everyone, because I've got to be honest, we had a phenomenal January. January was amazing. I think we're all pretty much general consensus. People were kind of blown away with January. It's definitely one of the best Januaries we've experienced. Whereas February, going into February, it was pretty good. It was okay. But definitely the last week or so, it has felt a little bit flat. So I want to check in with you, Jonny. I want to check in with everyone else just to see if it's the general consensus, because that's why we have these communities. So people don't feel like, oh, it's just me or whatever. So yeah, what's it like in your neck of the woods, Jonny?
Yeah, I mean, full transparency, we had a drop off as well. January actually beat December, which is crazy, and
yeah.
Probably a bad move, and something I need to look at in next Q4. I've been transparent about that a few weeks ago, but obviously naturally your business grows, and January was bigger than December, which is kind of crazy. I need to look at, but we've had definitely had a fall off this month, and a lot of people I've spoke to have also had that same fall off. I know for sort of merchant fulfilled and people doing seller fulfilled prime. Seller fulfilled prime at the moment is showing like 3-4 days delivery. So I was talking to a friend on Sunday, and his delivery showed either Wednesday, Thursday, and pays for that prime badge. So the prime badge was showing that 3-4 day delivery. and that has a massive knockoff on effects on sales. So our sell of the fill prime has definitely gone down. Our FBA, to be honest, like we've had a bit of a short. We lost two staff members last month.
Right.
One because they couldn't hack the amount of orders going out, and it was just, pick packing jobs are pretty crazy at times, especially run a merchant fulfilled business. And the other one was just we had to let go. So our FBA did get sort of drop off in FBA, but yeah, our actual merchant fulfilled and seller fulfilled prime has definitely took a hit this month, and our Shopify is still remaining strong. So maybe it's an Amazon thing. I'm not too sure. What do you think about what's going on in the Amazon space for you?
Yeah, I mean, across the board, the only thing that is continuing to buck the trend, and I'm still continuing to be puzzled as to why, apart from it's coming into a little bit of its own peak, essentially, the private label product is an evergreen product, but there is a period of time between March and June where it particularly peaks, this particular product, but we're still not there. But that's, I mean, new heights, every week, breaking the week before, record breaking, going up in the organic rankings. We've got a massive problem, which I talked about a little bit in the group this week, with counterfeits, which is which is fun, dealing with. It's okay here. We can get them removed. The patent covers everything, so much from this point of view here. In America, I don't know what it comes down to. I don't know if it's their whole Second Amendment or whatever one it is, or the First Amendment about free speech or whatever. But there's something in the legal process in America where they don't seem to honor the patents on Amazon as much as they should do. We have a design patent, which is, universally accepted. You cannot protect your product any more than having a design patent, a US design patent and a trademark. Okay, so that's, there's 3 different types of patents you can get. So with this one, it's the strongest, it should work. But for some reason, like I've said previously, Amazon want to go into this arbitration where you have to pay money. And if we have to do it, we have to do it. But now we're going to do a couple of steps. So we've got a legal letter drafted, which has just been drafted by a standard legal person. That's going to go off to the Amazon legal department today. And then if that doesn't work, then we have to engage the patent lawyer, which is £500 an hour, to be able to do that. And if that doesn't work, then we have to go down the route of intent to sue. So, we're not talking about chump change here. The main product that this affects, $2 million it's predicted to do this year on Amazon. So it's not like, we just forget about it and move on kind of thing. It's a big problem. So that's been taking up our time quite a lot. And of course, but the sales are phenomenal. So even with the counterfeits, but it's a victim of its own success. You can't not expect to have that. And I almost feel the counterfeits are fueling the other sales a little bit more as well. So at this moment in time, I don't actually know if the counterfeits are a help or a hindrance, to be perfectly honest. So that's something we need to explore a little bit as well. But apart from that, same as everyone else, and looking at the comments, good start to the month, and then it's dipped off. But February, I will kind of put myself on the line and say February is probably the worst month of the year in terms of sales, with exception of August, if you are in depending what market you're in.
Yeah, I think for us, it's usually August is usually the worst, but February's always a bit of a drop off as well. But yeah, like Amazon businesses, you've got to look over it over a longer period of time, to be honest. Month by month, it's not healthy to be like, to start panicking. All you can really do is, change your output and can you send more units to Amazon? Can I order more stock? If you really want to risk mitigate at the end of the day, you just got to reduce your days of stock that you're buying, right? Like that's the only thing you can really do, but just keep funneling money at it. Reduce your risk by reducing your days of stock. So rather than buy 60 days of stock, reduce that to 30, or if you're buying 30, reduce that to 21. So just got to look over it over a longer period of time, really, isn't it? And don't
Yeah.
want to look at, like, people look at like day to day is always the damaging one, because even our best months, sometimes we have days where like we're doing 6,000-7,000, then it goes down to 3,000-4,000, and we're like, oh, what's going on? But just got to look over the whole month. But yeah, February's been a bit of a shocker. It's been a bit of a shocker. It's
Yeah.
it happens every year, so it's got to take that. Yeah.
It could be we're finally starting to see that impact. I don't want to say the R word, but we could be finally starting to see the impact of the cost of living crisis. We haven't really experienced it so much. It could well be. January is a ridiculously long month. January is well known to have 400 days in it because, after Christmas, it's a long time to payday. And it may well be that people got through, they eked their way through January, they got paid, and everything cost a lot more than they thought was going to cost in January. And maybe it's wiped them out for February. It's interesting. I went out a couple of weeks ago. It was dead. I'm out this weekend for a friend's birthday, and I'm actually going into proper town. So it really will be an interesting insight to see how busy town is this weekend in terms of people going out, socializing, and spending what should be their disposable income, essentially, because that's where this cost of living crisis is hitting people the hardest. It is in that disposable income area. So it'll be interesting to see that. But just been to Sainsbury's, packed as always, packed with oldies. All going really slow around the aisles, bless them. But yeah, it's nice excuse to party. Yeah, I know it is, Matt. Thanks. Cindy says January amazing, February was good, but running out of stock, and it's been 3 days have been dead. Yeah, absolutely. So stock outs is something everyone knows. Everyone that's worked a bit closer with me knows it's like my worst thing. I'm like, why are you going out of stock? It's my pet hate, essentially. So, but just a tip for everyone, actually. And you don't need anything to be able to do this. It's common sense, essentially. And you need to kind of check this in with yourself, essentially. If you take a dip in your business, like Jonny said, make your days in stock a little bit lower. Do not buy as much so you can, keep cash flow flowing. But also at the same time, be logical in your replenishment if that is part of your business. You should not be stocking up on something if you are out of stock of your best sellers. It's as simple as that. So just those couple of tips in themselves should hopefully see you guys through a quieter time, essentially, because it's like we're all guilty of it. But until you have a relatively large business where you do tend to look at things overall on a more annual perspective, because once you get to the back end of December and you look back over the rest of the year, you're not going to remember that time on February the 18th when you had the worst sales day of your year, but you remember it on February the 19th and the week after. It gradually fades away. So as hard as it is, try not to be in a position with Amazon where you only feel you're as good as your last day or as good as your last week. Otherwise, you will constantly be feeling you are in a position of, always chasing your tail. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'd say as well, if you're running a sort of FBA only business and you're using a prep center, the drop off in the sales isn't really that risky, is it? Like, unless you're completely overstocked, if you have your warehouse and staff to pay, it's always a little bit more dangerous because you have staff to pay. You need that revenue to sort of cover staff. So, it's just the natural nature of the business. If you pay yourself a little less, and just go wider. It's always the answer. Just go wider. Every time, isn't it? Just go wider on inventory and just keep building that. So January and February is the time to build and find more suppliers, and you also find that suppliers have more allocation to actually work with you. You'll find at the last, the end of the years, end of the year, like sort of going towards Q4, suppliers are usually just maxed out, don't have enough allocation. So if you're dealing with like wholesalers and working with brands, then now is when you should be targeting when they're a bit more quiet and they're more likely to work with you. So now it's all sales, 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 and don't worry too much about the revenue. Just build up for that, the peak seasons, peak times. Yeah, I think I've seen that Matt's doing very well though. I'm not sure how he's. I think there's a few comments on how he's apparently killing it, but he has an interesting business. It's something I could learn from, to be honest, the way he operates and has those sort of. Don't know. He always has great sales when I don't. So as always, I need to get a little bit from Matt, and maybe you can learn a little bit more from me about the whole replenishments and sort of everyday sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why I love the dynamic of these type of communities, because you've got people commenting, you've got people presenting, you've got people talking. Everybody has a different type of business to be able to comment on. Jonny, your business is incredibly different to mine, incredibly different to Matt's, incredibly different to Cindy's, and Mark's, and everyone like that. And it's having that kind of perspective. But I think the most important thing is to be able to look at kind of proven strategies, things that work. They're universal at the end of the day, no matter what type of whatever type of business you run. When sales are a little bit slower, I also think it's a really good time to look through your stock. If you've got anything there that's over a 90-day period that you've been holding that stock for, that's the time when you really have to consider, when sales are a little bit slower, am I better off increasing cash flow into the company in order to be able to replan the sales that are coming in at this stage? And unfortunately, it's kind of big boy and big girl pants time, and sometimes it might mean making a loss on those particular individual units if you cannot see that there's any wood through the trees in terms of profit coming back on those. It's probably better to make a £2 loss than it is to wait for it to come back into a break even, because you can compound that loss back in terms of selling. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's the way you've got to look at this business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, need to build up those sort of strategies to actually get rid of that stock as well. And, for us, I think I've mentioned before, our rule's always sort of 90 days plus. We always try and get rid of that stock and, put in special offers and reduce those margins. And if you make a loss, you still get that money back, and you want to quickly recycle it and put it into your best ones, right? That you can quickly get your money through. And that's the name of the game, right? Isn't it? It's the name of the game at the end of the day. Yeah, I talk more about sort of repricing strategies and stuff like that for the Hive, and how I actually do it precisely. But there are ways of getting rid of stock and also sort of maintaining as much profit as possible, and that's just through different strategies and different repricing techniques and all that sort of thing. Just a side note, I think I can actually play that video if we do want to play it later and then talk it through. I don't know when we want to get to that, or we want to start talking about that.
Absolutely. I was just going to run through a couple of the comments, and I was just going to ask everyone, because I want to double check in. Like I said, I want to definitely double check in on people's sales today. But also let us know, guys, about that time in stock. Is that something that you're regularly checking in your business? Because if you're not, then that could be it's not going to tank your business, but it could be stopping progression in your business, or it could be not even that. It could actually just be stopping your business from, coming into that kind of cycle of, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And in the reality, the maximum you do want to be holding stock for, and don't get me wrong, I'm a hodl person. There are certain things I'll look at and say, no, I want to wait for that to come back into stock, and look at it strategically, because I think, well, if I hand back, if I'm the last person stocking out on it, I can be the first person replenning back in on it. So that's a different strategy in itself as well. So that's always to be considered. But, anything is not, 60 to, I know some people are as low as 60 days, some people, but I think it's between that 60 and 90 days, guys. You need to be quite tight on in terms of what you're carrying stock for, because Amazon storage fees are only going to continue to go up. So you need to take that into account for sure. So let us know in the comments, guys. Let us know, what is your limit? At what time do you normally make those kind of decisions? And are you checking them on a regular basis? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you know, you could be putting yourself in a little bit of a vulnerable position.
Yeah, you should definitely check it against the sort of days left as well, because it could be, 95 days old, but it has 3 days left inventory, where it makes no sense to crash that price, right? So make sure it says more than just like, oh, it's 90 plus days. If that stock's
And
selling still well, and you start tanking it, you're leaving money on the table, sort of thing. So you gotta like make sure you work, the inventory age, and couple that with how many days of stock left, and that's obviously using your sales per day and stuff like that. And a bit of a sales pitch, but that's the goal of BeeStocked as well. And we have the inventory dashboard, which is the inventory dashboard is basically imagine your inventory, but in Keeper, the way you can sort of filter, group it, the way how quick it is. But we have those sort of metrics where it's sort of days left and how many days it's been in stocked, and you can obviously filter by those metrics, so you can then sort of get and work out what actually needs to be shifted, sort of thing, rather than just doing a blanket. Oh, that's 90 plus days. You also have to consider, well, maybe it's a Halloween item, and it's gonna, rather than crashing it, send it back. Send it back to your warehouse and then send it back in for Halloween. So there's always more factors than just 90 days plus. But again, this is the thing I could talk about for a long time, and it's advanced stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we shall look to do that definitely more in the Hive. So yeah, we'll have a look at the video in a minute, but I think the important thing here is, just briefly to talk about, what we've created, because it's one of those things that just by creating BeeStocked, it's going to solve a lot of issues for a lot of sellers. And we genuinely believe that it is going to be a game changer for a lot of people's businesses, just if they do nothing apart from listen to what the software is telling them, let alone how much it can contribute to scaling and the growth of your business. But there are definitely going to be a few areas that were going to be left. The software is amazing, guys, but it's not going to be able to fix everything for you. So that's why we've also created the Hive as well, which is everything else that's kind of left that the stock, the inventory management software won't do for you, that is going to be able to deliver to you in various different ways, from a training aspect, from an education, motivation, accountability aspect, all the things that you need to be able to do to keep you going in the business. It's going to deliver knowledge. It's going to give you processes that you are able to put into your business. It's going to show things step by step over the shoulder. I saw someone say they're really interested in over the shoulder repricing. If that's something to be covered in the Hive, absolutely. Jonny was talking about that today. Naturally, people are usually vague about their secrets, however, would appreciate it. Absolutely. Those are the type of things, because it gives us the freedom to be able to really deep dive into things in a community that we know is on the same page. Because people are like, well, why not do it here? Why not do it behind closed door? Because at the end of the day, everybody's in different positions. If you join the Hive, then we know for sure that it's absolutely targeted. We are targeting the information to what you want, and it's going to cover a wide variety of informations, and we're going to do a lot over the shoulder. And like I said, there's going to be something for everyone. It's not just going to be one way. It's going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people, in terms of some people like the over the shoulder stuff, some people prefer course content, some people are visual, so they like step-by-step guides. So we're going to cover all of those. Now, it's not going to, we go live tonight at 7:00. It's not going to all be in there at 7:00 tonight. We've got to build up that information, because believe me, if it was all in there at 7:00 tonight, we'd be charging a hell of a lot more than £99 per month for it. So it's going to build up over time. And also at the same time as well, I've got a bit of experience in this area. You can't give all the information all at once, because it becomes too overwhelming. People feel that they get behind and it overwhelms them. And we're going to handle all of that. So, rest assured, that's something that we're very much aware of. Brian says, recently discovered Natalie, Jonny and Matt in 2x chipmunk speed. Very entertaining. I reckon I would just be like I talk quite slowly, and Jonny does as well. So I reckon we'd probably just sound like the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. But we've got a YouTube comment comes in. I think it's Vlad saying, recently changed 60 to 90 days. Before I used to hull, but it's not working for OA. What do you mean by that, Vlad? As in, it's not working for OA? I probably don't see what you mean there. Just clarify on that a little bit more, and we'll come back.
I think it's the other way around. Because always sort of special offers at certain periods where people will start to sell out after 60, 90 days. Wholesale, you buy over and over again. So it's always sort of consistent. So wouldn't holding out an OA actually be beneficial? Because, you know, people buy within that special offer period of that retailer. So if they're going to hold for 60 to 90 days, they're probably going to start to sell out at the end. So you might be folding and crashing the price while people start to run out. But again, at the end of the day, you just got to look at Keeper and see what that other sellers dropping off, right? But you know, that's again with the Hive. You know, my specialty and what I'm going to bring is, you know, is wholesale and, you know, sort of Keeper analysis and stuff like that, and a lot of data and systems sort of thing, repricing, those sort of systems, sort of, and it couples quite well. But Matt's knowledge is, who's also very good with systems. So I think me and Matt have sort of got their own little thing going on there, and you know, obviously you've got years of experience doing your specialty, so it's going to be a nice blend. And I think worth mentioning is obviously BeeStocked being exclusive to the Hive starting out. You know, we are going to try and tailor it towards everyone's sort of what they want and getting the feedback from the Hive as a community. So it's just be a small subset of people and trying to, what do they want to build your business? And I think that's the advantageous thing of joining up by today. You know, of course, we can't buy it. You know, one thing to note is, you know, you can't build everything. You know, if you look at sort of like Channel Advisor, who are a public company, you know, it takes a while to get to that stage. And, you know, we're working very, very hard, the development team, to get as much features as possible. But, you know, we're going to work what's realistic and what will, you know, help out the most people. And it's all exciting stuff.
It's a little bit of cause and effect with the Hive and BeeStock, because the Hive is fueling the development of BeeStock, to be perfectly honest. And in terms of, you know, hiring more developers and putting more things in place and things like that, we've already got a development team in terms with Jonny heading it up. But at the end of the day, we still need more people to build it out exactly how we're going to be. And I think once we're a few weeks into the Hive, I think it would be a good idea, Jonny, to come in and kind of give the grand vision of everything, where we see it going. You know, I think that will really help. But 7 o'clock tonight, no, not 7. It's not 7. It's midnight. I made Matt change it. Sorry, because it's one of those things. We're going live at 7 o'clock tonight, and I know what will happen. Everyone will be like at 7:10. Oh, you know, I forgot, and then he'll have to do this and do that, and you know, blah 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 blah. So it's something to do with. Sorry. Is this to replace Ecom in a Circle? No, I'm not coming away from that. From Ecom in a Circle, I think possibly might mean ESA, but I don't know if Mark's. I haven't spoken to Mark or anything, so I don't know what's happening.
Ecom in a Circle is the Hive. It's the Hive is like the training. It's just it's the brand name of Ecom in a Circle. Ecom in a Circle is the Facebook group, and the Hive is our training with more exclusive and obviously more deeper knowledge of our business and our expertise. And then BeeStocked is the software branch. But you know, BeeStock's one company, Hive is one company, Ecom in a Circle is our community. So and then Never Mind the Buy Box is our podcast. Maybe we should just rename everything to the same to save the to save confusion.
Okay, ESA, right? Okay, but again, I've not spoken to anyone about that, so you know, that's just kind of speculation. But I understand why people may be speculating to that, and you know, definitely since the Hive has launched, it's something that you know, I am thinking about and considering about. I want to make it absolutely clear that the Hive is my future in terms of how I intend to help and support businesses moving forward. So, you know, that's currently under kind of discussion at the moment. But as it's, that's a brilliant comment. Never mind the Hive. Yeah, I love it. So, but I just want to reassure everyone that I will keep you updated. You know, I'm not going to leave anyone in the lurch or do anything like that. And I feel like I'm saying too much at the moment. It's not that, no decision's been made, but I just absolutely want to say, you know, that's yeah, I haven't spoken to anyone about it. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit of speculation, but I understand why people are speculating. But, you know, I will, but there's no doubt about it. I really do believe that the Hive and BeeStocked is going to be unrivaled, not from an arrogant point of view, but in terms of what it's going to do for people's businesses. And, you know, that's the majority of me as a person. That's the majority of where my focus is going to be moving forward. But at the same time, don't panic if you're an ESA member. You know, I rest assured I'm not leaving anyone in the lurch or anything like that. So I will keep you updated if anything changes. Okay.
Yeah, transparency is key for us. Someone said, think regards Hive versus ESA. It's around monthly cost of both. You know, this is, again, for me, I have no affiliation to ESA. I would recommend the Hive. That I'm going to be biased, right? I'm always going to recommend BeeStocked over a competitor, right? So I'll go for the Hive. You know,
I've
you'll be
become
missing
a competitor to myself, essentially.
Yeah. So,
So,
you know, like we all love Luke, but you know, Luke, you never know, might have some guest appearances on the Hive. You never really know. You know, we love Luke, so we'd always sort of want to work with him. So, if that's a factor of Luke, then you know you might be surprised that he might make some appearances at some point in the future. We'll see what happens, but yeah, we love Luke. But yeah, definitely. You know, you can make a decision. Like, just I would sign up and then make a decision after a few weeks or a month, because you know, if you sign up now, you're saving yourself a lot of money in the future. And, you know, BeeStocked, you're getting grandfathered for free. You know, competitive software, which has been out for a while. And, you know, we're not there yet, obviously, but, you know, they're in the region of $250 plus as the basic package, and you're getting for free. So it's a no-brainer. Like obviously it's investing in us, and it's helping us build out the alpha and test it and see what you think. So it's a win-win for everyone, really. And, you know, I think if that is, you know, what you have to weigh up, just remember that this deal won't be here forever. So you could just do it today, just to ensure you get that free
it's
BeeStocked.
not. It's absolutely not. So let's explain. Jonny will come onto the video in a second. Then I've just got a few more questions just to answer there. But I just want to reiterate, if anyone's got a jump off or anything like that, the offer that ends tonight at 12 o'clock midnight is £99 per month plus VAT for lifetime, no, not lifetime, membership to the Hive, as long as you're a member, as long as you're paying, obviously, of course. And also at this moment in time, you will also get on the alpha of BeeStocked. So what Jonny spoke about there, an opportunity to be the first testers of BeeStocked and help contribute to the build of it. So, you know, if there's things that you want in the software, you want to be part of that, or you want to be contributing to that conversation, which is not going to be held in the Hive. That's going to be held in a separate testing group. Just for anyone that maybe thinks, oh, that's going to get a bit messy with it all in, you know, all over the place. No, we're going to keep it separate. And you will get that, and then you will be grandfathered into the software on full launch at that price as well.
The basic package.
Yeah, the basic package, which we're estimating at, if you are below 3,000 orders, well, up to 3,000 orders, which is quite generous. We've always said if we can push it higher, we will. But we're just making it aware that there could be a surcharge if you come in and you're like Jonny with, you know, thousands and thousands, like 5,000 plus orders and things like that, because that's you know, that's how we work out the pricing, the amount of orders the business is processing. Okay. Yeah. And then of course, if there's any bolt-ons at a later stage, like if there is something you know, that is a completely, what would be considered a completely different software as a bolt-on to it, then of course that could be an additional charge at a later stage. But there's no firm plans for anything like that at the moment. We're concentrating on the inventory management. So that's what you get. If you sign up over after midnight, you lose the alpha access, and the price is going up as well. You will still be grandfathered in. You will still be grandfathered in to the software when it's launched, but you lose the alpha, and it's going to cost slightly more as well. So you know, and it's a no-brainer for most of you. You know, it's going to increase businesses. I like that. Jonny was not born; he was made to be an Amazon selling machine. Absolutely, for sure. Just going back, are we starting bundles tonight? Tonight is an introduction, okay, to everything, and you'll see it's clear tonight. So please join tonight, because what is going to happen tonight will set you up for life in terms of making sure the wealth of information that we're going to chuck at you in terms of what's going to come through the Hive and BeeStocked and everything like that, that it puts you in a position to deal with it. Okay, so that's what tonight's about. And then from Thursday is when the bundle information starts to drop. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear from anyone. But believe me, there's going to come to a point where you guys are going to be, whoa, stop. There's too much. There's too much going on here. You know, you're overwhelming us. But, you know, that's why we've got so many plans for the future to be able to kind of separate people into, you know, the correct groupings for group coaching accountability. You'll always have the general Hive, but one of the big things for me is separating people into accountability groups with a coach for the business, the level of business that they're at. I think that will be really, really important, and I want to introduce that as quickly as possible. So let's answer Vlad's, and then we'll go back. Show your video, Jonny, and then we can mop up any other questions after that. So Vlad said, I just found it better to sell off and return my money back. But yeah, there's a point of holding if you can see it's going out of stock. I just say OAs, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, yeah, so just clarifying, that's what we thought. Okay, for sure. So another one, is it possible, it'd be great to understand how Jonny's background in purchasing has helped with his success, and if there are direct lessons we can learn from this in our Amazon business. I can probably say, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was working with components. So components, interesting I say components, because that's one of the keywords we use for BeeStocked. But so I used to work in the electronics PCB world and used to buy components that used to go on printed circuit boards. So what you used to get was a bill of materials. So a bill of materials is the materials that go on a printed circuit board. So sometimes you have 100 different components, right? So resistors, capacitors, and transmitters, and all those sort of things. So what you would do is price it for a client, a supplier, a customer, sorry. And then what you do is go out and buy all those different components. So you have 100 different lines. So it works exactly pretty much the same as a wholesale list in a way, because you're just basically, well, kind of, or a keeper list or whatever. You'll go for each line, you know, call up a bunch of different suppliers, bunch of different wholesalers, and just try and negotiate and get it as cheap as possible, try and get onto like tiered pricing. So what it taught me was obviously data analysis, going through those sort of sourcing lists and stuff like that, and also speaking to businesses to actually negotiate deals and how that works with, you know, sending out purchase orders, sending out RFQs and all that sort of thing. So it definitely gave me the base. It's essentially the same in a way as wholesale. Just yeah, same but different. You know,
He's a secret bundler, definitely.
Yeah, at the same time, but you know, I don't do a lot. To be honest, I don't really do that anymore. I've kind of taught my system to my team, and now it's ran by sort of an operations manager who she handles it all for me, and she's probably as good as me. So, you know, I got the foundation by doing it myself, and then built that system. Now I teach it to my team, and you know, now I'm going to teach it to the Hive members as well. Cool. So Vlad, I think it's a different Vlad, isn't it, to Vlad Koki? It's not that,
No, different Vlad. Yeah, different Vlad. But
yeah, of course.
I think Yeah, what I would say as well is please don't confuse the Hive with anything that has been before. This is something that is going to be for business owners and business operators, not essentially. Yes, we're going to focus on Amazon to start with, but you know, we said when we first started this group, guys, get into the habit of referring to yourself as e-commerce business owners, essentially. And we're going to be going to a level where if you ever, and this is what happens when you develop real businesses, and we always talk about this because there is this massive misconception. I've heard people that are doing 7 figures and still don't think it's a real business because it's selling on Amazon. But as soon as you start to get into the realms of hiring staff, doing this and doing that, we are going to have in our Beehive Vault, we are going to have a wealth of information in there that's going to help you with things like things that you don't even think about at this stage in your business that you might need, that we've all gone through, and it might be a template on how you need to issue a informal disciplinary to a staff member in your business, so you won't have to scour YouTube and the web and things like that. It's going to be in there and it's going to be ready for you to use if at any point you would do it. Does anyone have to fill out a statutory sick maternity form for an employee? What's the procedure if someone tells you that they're pregnant in your business? You know, these type of things that you never even think about. You know, yes, the majority of you like, well, I use a prep center, I've got VAs, I'm never going to do that physical member of staff. Well, you don't know which direction this business is going to take you in. You know, where you started and where you end up are definitely 2 different things. So
Absolutely.
what it's going to be a cushion for you. The Hive is going to be a cushion in the sense that it's going to give you, whatever you need over a period of time, the level of support that you would need in your business. You know, if there's legal elements, it might well be that we introduce a legal expert at some point into the Hive. You know, the sky's the limit. We can do whatever we want, guys. You know, that's the way that we want to play it. And we will constantly be reinvesting into this as well. It's not just going to it's not providing anyone's wages or anything like that. It's going to be reinvested into BeeStocked and everything else to make the best possible system. Jonny, do you want to show the video?
Yeah, sure.
Did anyone
else?
This
question? Should I just
Yeah.
answer? Someone said, when can we start using BeeStocked? BeeStocked. We hope March. It's currently an MVP, so we're testing it within the developers and a very small set of sellers. For us, it's all there, but the number 1 priority is making sure everything is secure, protected, and is safe, so we can actually go to the public. So the worst thing we want is any sort of any problems. So we got to extensively test it within the developers, but we hope the goal is March. But you never know, and that's why again we're offering it for free. So, but yeah, it's alpha,
exactly.
right? It's testing, and you'll be getting a lot of updates in March, especially if you're in the group on it, and it's gonna be awesome for a lot of people. Yep, I'll show the video just whenever. You want to put me full screen?
Let's do that. It's only 3 minutes, guys. Don't worry, it's not going to be one of my videos. It's only 3 or 4 minutes, and it just, for anyone that didn't get a chance to see it yesterday, it's just a quick demo of one of the features that BeeStocked will have. There's a whole lot more of what it's going to be. So I'm just going to remove myself. How do I do that?
You've done it, yeah.
Is that it?
Still here.
I'm not in charge of business development. Okay, how do I remove myself?
There you go. All right. So Natalie, we can both talk over this because I've talked over this before. But as people can see, I'll just play the video of how it works then. So if you can start seeing this sort of the mouse cursor, just let me just ensure it's playing. Yeah, I'm just talking over. So basically what you can see is quite a clean interface. So, the goal is to be able to create orders and purchase orders as quick as possible, right? So, if you see the Woody doll and the Disney store and all that sort of thing, those units to order will be pre-programmed. So you'll know exactly how many to order. So what I'm going through at the top is the you know, the SKUs. So that shows you how many SKUs you have. You know, again, an easy one. Lead time, again, this will help with the forecasting. The MOQ is going to help with you know, if you have a wholesaler, units to order, and then you have the, you know, total cost. By the way, I'm not moving this mouse. This is a pre-recorded video if it's not in sync. But yeah, it's I think it's the goal is to make it a very clean UI. So you'll see there's a one-click edit. So the one-click edit is going to be cool. So basically the units to order, MOQs and stuff like that is all going to be sort of real time. What I'm going through now is the sort of component view. So I'm just going to pause on the component view when it gets there, just to show you how it works quickly when it gets there. So I'm probably mentioning it now. So what you see here is I have 18 of the alien mini bean bags, and I've got 10 of the Woody dolls. They are both single packs. So what the component view will do is it will basically convert that to its actual components. So if you just pause here, what you can see here is that these are actually the components that make up the bundle, right? So the whole idea of this is if you have a mixed bundle with 10 different items in, this will basically create a shopping list for you. So it will basically group up all the products that are in all your different bundles and then create a shopping list. So, you know, the units to order and the supplier ID is all there. So you can quickly shop from wherever you're shopping or send that purchase order to a supplier. So I'll just quickly go on. You'll be able to update the units to order here on the components as well. Just to add, that will potentially make the ASIN view as it stands out of sync, just because of the allocation of, if you change the components to the ASIN view, that there might be an allocation thing, but that's something that we'll be working on. But we can see here is when we change this to you know, 31, I believe is what I changed it to. It's basically just going to work out how many are in that product. So I'm just going to quickly save here. By the way, that edit thing you just saw there, yeah, potentially we might change it, might get rid of the confirm button, but it's going to be the same sort of behavior when you receive stock. So you can be receiving stock as a sort of shopping list, where you can sort of input the barcodes and all that sort of thing. It's the eventual goal to add the barcode and case pack size. You know, you can get a nice tablet, which is obviously touchscreen. And then you can get like a handheld barcode if you're in a warehouse to just scan in the barcodes and the information like that. So the one-click sort of receiving and editing is really, really helpful. It just makes it a much nicer experience for like tablets and mobiles. Cool. The also thing as well, by the way, I've got the VAT. So the other sort of thing I didn't mention in the group is obviously if you're creating these sort of purchase orders or as a new item, if you add the sort of cost of goods here, then it will save your cost of goods in the system. And it will also have a historic view of your cost of goods. So I know of other analytics software, you've got to upload your cost of goods, but here you know, there is the option to bulk upload if you have existing cost of goods, but any new item, you're uploading it once into this purchase order and then it will save into the system. So, you know, you have you know, you don't have to manually upload them, you know, and if we add other features that require cost of goods, it will work it out from here. So this is, again, like a lot of people, what they don't do is create orders and purchase orders, but you need to have a record of your orders, you know, for one, to export it to your prep center or wherever you need. Our goal here is to do that. So just quickly press play again. And if I just quickly go back, so you can see now it's 31 of the 3-pack and 18 of the single pack. And what you'll see if you go back to the components view, you can see now that it's now 111 of the, you know, product, which is the alien mini bag, and then the Disney, you know, obviously stays 10 because we haven't changed that. You know, eventually we might have the boxes at the top might change, so we have a component total and an ASIN total. Again, this is something that we want to build out. The other thing that we plan to do is have like a eBay and Shopify forecasting as well. So the goal would be to, you know, what I like to do is add by Amazon SKUs and then add by eBay SKUs, because then you can see the exact margin of each item, right? So then you can filter out by margin. So say I want to order 20% plus. If you're adding by Amazon, and then it's much easier to actually get that going. And then the beauty of that is what I want is to be able to convert both the Amazon listings and eBay listings and Shopify listings when we build that out and convert it to a component view, which is very slick and quick. So then you can also send that out by email to suppliers and quickly shop from a retailer because you have the supply already and everything's grouped. Yeah, just I think that's it. Obviously, go to so obviously you can copy and paste the supplier ID if you didn't see here. So if you copy and paste there quickly, it works like Google Sheets. So it's all basically like Google Sheets. You copy and paste, go into Disney, and you're instantly on it because you've stored that supplier ID into your system. And then that's it. You basically, after that, there's a button called create ASN. So if you're receiving it yourself, it will basically convert this purchase order into a receiving purchase order. So then you can sort of check it into your sort of, your home or local warehouse or whatever. Or you can, the plan as well is to sort of work with prep centers. So they will be able to have a receive sheet. So they'll be able to receive your stock very, very quickly. And basically what they'll do is that there's no need anymore for you to manually enter stuff into Google Sheets anymore. It would all work through BeeStocked. And I promise you, because, being, again, top 250 seller on Amazon, one of the biggest sellers with the biggest catalogs on Amazon, this has saved me a bunch of time. Cool. That was harder than I thought to actually sort of to go over it, and well, I've already annotated over it, but hopefully that's helped. Yeah.
No, it did, definitely, for sure. The video with Jonny's commentary is in the Facebook group as well, so if anyone wants that, feel free to watch it from that point of view, because it's all matched up. But you annotated beautifully, Jonny. It was lovely. Thank you, with your dulcet tones. So Simon said dark mode, dark mode ? That's essential. I know you, Matt, and Matt are definitely on the dark side, so you like that, don't you? So that I assume that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen, but features are always a priority, and then we're going to get that. But yeah, we'll have a dark mode, for sure.
Or pink.
Or pink mode, potentially. We'll have three modes: pink mode, dark mode, and normal be colored mode.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. This has been asked a couple of times, Jonny, actually. Cindy said, I've got several bundles that have the same component in each bundles. We don't call them products anymore, guys. We call them components. And I would love to be able to get a shopping list to buy from each supplier. That's been mentioned a couple of times. So that's definitely something. But, Cindy, you're in the alpha. So you get the opportunity to be able to, put that forward as something that you'd love to see in there. As a bundler myself, it's definitely something, obviously, but even I don't know everything in terms of what people want for features and things like that. So that's why it's important to make sure that you're in on the alpha if you want to have an influence as to what is going to go in to the early part of development of this particular software. It's almost like a community build. By the way, it is built, obviously. We're not going to it's going to be the main consensus. Actually, this would be a good opportunity. What can people expect in the alpha if it's not something they've done before?
It's not something they've done before.
Yeah,
so I think the ability to create orders extremely quickly is the basically what is the biggest win for your time. It's the time saving and creating orders. So when you create a purchase order or create an order, like I just showed, it's a time saving. Basically a lot of people softwares, when you go to replan, you got to download a report, and then you got to save the order. And then you got to input that order, and then you got to convert that to a prep center. So for this, it's all done in a few clicks or things, all in the same sort of interface. So I think saving time there. I think if you have the product and bundle information as well, just that sort of component view by, when you actually start to receive stock, you can sort of receive it or in that component view. So you receive it by the product itself. So you're not having to be like, oh, I've ordered, 30 Woody dolls, and the ASIN's a free pack. So you don't have to keep cross-referencing it, because it works in your favor both ways and will sort of convert both ways. So I think that. I also think actually the way that I haven't showed much, but the sort of keeper style, I said the keeper style because it's the same sort of framework of actually managing your inventory and be able to see all the different data points of your inventory where you can actually group. So, so you have an ASIN and you have that ASIN over 5 different SKUs, you can group it by ASIN. The ability to sort of, filter that sort of main inventory tab, the ability to sort it how you like. So, maybe you want to sort it by what's my oldest stock. I want to see how old something is, or what's the one with the longest days left, or what's my highest seller, or what's got the most sales. There's a lot of different options like that. So I think what the most value is that compared to competitors. I would say, I don't want to say competitors because I think it's a unique software offering we're offering.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any competitors in it specifically for the area that it covers. Of course, there's dashboard companies, and of course, there's inventory management software. I actually really liked what Matt said earlier in our meeting when he said, it's like a Limworks Lite, essentially at its first initial development stage. If you're going to compare it to anything, compare it to Linworks for sure. But if you're part of the alpha program, guys, one thing we just got to make clear, which we'll do a live at the alpha when it comes to that anyway as well, but you're kind of there to help us out a little bit as well. So it's going to be things like reporting bugs, and which we have a full-time development team anyway, which we try and do as much bug squashing as we can, but obviously there's going to be, until certain things are going to be released. So that's why we need your help, and need as many people's help as possible, because we have to test server loads, and we have to test this, and we have to do all these different types of things. But I think one thing you'll agree after watching Jonny's video is how quick, how responsive the server is, and that's software's been, and that's been one of the main priorities, to make it sure that it is going to be, not a frustrating piece of software, that it's going to be very responsive, because Jonny, in everything that you do, you're responsive. You don't like, waiting around. You don't tolerate, stuff that doesn't work, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think to mention, it's got all the bells and whistles of majority of softwares you can think of, or at least the lower price point ones with the analytics. You'd be able to do analytics per ASIN and SKU, and we do have profit and loss like that. We just don't want to go around saying it's absolutely perfect. You can do your VAT return on this, but we have all the bells and whistles of most software. So I think it ticks off all the box, but it just adds that extra element of being able to create orders very, very quickly, which again is the quickest way to scale your business is by placing more orders more quickly. That's literally what's missing in the market for me. Is there's nothing that's a way that sort of puts both of them together. So inventory management with the ability to create orders. And I think it's going to change a lot of businesses, hopefully. And I know a lot of people ask me as well. By the way, Cindy, with the shopping list, again, it's something to work on, but the goal is when you add line items, you'll be able to have a component view. We also have a products table as well, which has the store and the quantity levels and stuff like that. Again, that could be something that could be helpful in terms of a shopping list. Again, there's the ability to sort of group and filter how you want. But yeah, just tell me exactly, that's what the alpha's for, exactly what you want and how that be best displayed to you, and so it makes sense, right? Because I think we obviously have the component view, we've got the products table, which will have the information. We will add the ability to add by component, which is a group version. It's already been translated to the components. So there's a bunch of 3 different things that we plan on doing, but to actually sort of fine tune that is where the testers come into play. Yes, you will.
Absolutely. Will it be good question. Will it be, oh, by the way, guys, apologies. It's just been brought to my attention. I didn't put the YouTube link in it was Chev that pointed it out. I didn't put the YouTube link for anyone that watched, but hopefully you guys found it. But yeah, hold my hands up. Sorry, guys. Right, a couple of questions here. Will it be mobile friendly? I don't even think I know the answer to that myself. I don't even think we've kind
Yeah,
of.
it looks pretty. This is still in development, but like, you can sort of see like the dashboard here, sort of thing, with all of the prices and stuff like that. So that's the main dashboard with like the sales summary. So if you can sort of see a few things here. I think it's in reverse, but that I would say yes. I'd say it's mobile friendly as much as it can be for a data software, a lot of different data points. How mobile friendly can it be? Will it give you a nice little dashboard of your overview of sales you've done today? Yeah, like I just showed there, it will show a nice little mobile view of the card. If you're sort
A
of
couple of other little surprises in there as well. We said about that yesterday, didn't we? That dashboard is going to be everything. Yeah, that already exists in a lot of softwares, but we've definitely we've got a bit of a twist to it.
So you want to create a purchase order, it's got a mobile view like this as well. So if you sort of select Tesco, you can can you see this? Is it reverse? Can you actually see it, or is it reverse? Yeah, so
looks cool.
And then of course you can sort of add here as well, so you can create purchase orders on your phone. So yes, it's mobile friendly.
Yeah, and that would be something we work towards for sure. Simon's, I think it's Simon that's asked this. Please don't ever apologize for asking something like this. It's hugely important. He says, sorry to be the one to ask, but what sort of T's and C's are going to apply with regards to the use of our data that we add to the system?
What sort of T's to the use of our data?
That's now obviously protecting our consumers' data, because obviously we're sellers ourselves. I assume that's what's meant by that in terms of that. So from my point of view, there always has to be a certain level of trust. There will be T's and C's that are in place to protect your data as much as possible. Yes, we are sellers, and do you know what? This is an argument as old as time. Is it better to have people developing software that are sellers because they know, how it works inside out, that type of thing, or is it better to have people that are not sellers developing software because there is no conflict of interest, essentially? So. And it could well be 50 for people on that. Some people are happy with it, some people aren't. We can't change that. We're not going to give up our sales businesses. But what I will say, yes, there will be terms and terms of service put in place that will give people peace of mind. But the ultimate peace of mind has to come through from a level of trust, ultimately, at the end of the day. Matthew and I will not have any access to the back end of it. Jonny is part of the development team. So ultimately, that's the transparency. He will. But at the same time, Jonny's one of the largest sellers on Amazon anyway. So if he hasn't sold it already, he probably would have at that point. So I don't want to sound like I'm being blasé about it. I'm really not. And I know what a serious issue there is. But what I will say is that it just has to come down to a trust. I've been in this space now, publicly in this space, for sort of 5 years in various different capacities. Coaching, teaching. We had a prep center. I've been involved in previous software projects. And if anyone can find a comment about me anywhere that says that I steal people's data or anything like that, and I know that's not what anyone's insinuating, but what I would say, there's generally no smoke without fire. And ultimately, I think something would have come out by now in terms of that. And to be honest, I've never really heard about anyone stealing anyone's data, so I don't really think that's an issue. But it has to come down to a level of trust, I think, from that point of view. But ultimately, I can only speak for me when I say I'm genuinely not interested in anyone's data. I have enough of my own to keep myself busy. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. But I'm not trying to take away from the issue. I know what serious that issue that is ultimately, and yes, we will address that for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So it's securely hosted on the cloud. To be fully transparent, the only person that will have access to the database is myself. None of the other developers are. The only person who has the main to the main database. It would be myself, and it's very securely hosted on the cloud. So again, it is a trust thing. I don't have anything to gain from this sort of thing. I already have a top 250 Amazon business, and again, it's that it comes to trust in the end of the day, and I have nothing to gain from stealing any data. So it's trust in the end of the day, and
maybe I'm going to say the wrong thing here, but everyone hopefully will know what I say. What it also comes down to as well is, us being here saying that, us and everything like that. Whereas if we wanted to find a way around the system, even if you're someone that says that you don't sell in this and you're in the software space, if you wanted to find a way about it, you just get like a family member to do it, or, something like that. What I'm saying is it has to come down to a level of trust. You either trust or you don't, essentially, because like I said, even if someone says, no, we don't sell, we do it for this reason because we don't sell, which is completely acceptable, by the way, not knocking it either way. I think both have their own merits in terms of things. But what I'm saying is anyone that had that, well, they could get around it if they wanted to anyway. So that's the way I kind of see it. But yeah, Jonny gave the technical answer, which was the most important thing. Yes, just previously I did answer. If you were probably in the time that you weren't here, apologies. But yes, so tonight the bundle information, the content drops will happen on a Thursday. Which is the bundle information. But tonight, the live is incredibly important that you are there for that, because this is going to set you up for everything moving forward. But the pre-recorded bundle content, that will drop every Thursday. Okay, so I just wanted to re-clarify that.
A few software questions. Should I answer?
Go for it.
So Sydney says, "Oh, I will. Don't worry." To be honest, that's exactly
that's what honest. We want.
Feedback, that's what we want, and just be brutally honest, and that's the best way we can help you everyone's business. Is it possible to add min order value per supplier? Yeah, absolutely. That was the idea. So we have a supplier to manage your stores and add all the stuff you need. So contact information of that store, minimum order value, the lead time's worked out to use the forecasting. But the whole idea of is I work with a sort of 50 plus different suppliers, and they all have different MOQs. What we do is, as soon as an order becomes above, the forecasting says it's above the MOQ, it will trigger for us to place an order. So we're always optimally ordering as much as possible, as regularly as possible, so things keep in stock as much as possible. So that's a really good thing, is having that MOQ per supplier, and of course with the real-time sort of thing. So if you need to slightly adjust to get above, say it's a 2000 MOQ, you can slightly add, and it's real-time changing. So that's going to be really helpful. Will the allocation of more than one location section of the warehouse so stock? This is not a warehouse management system software. I pay over £1,000 per month for a warehouse management system software. It's not good enough for so I built this software. This is the software that it's not the complete thing for a warehouse, but it works perfectly. If you have a WMS, it will work really nicely together. So say if you have some like Mintsoft, Limworks, this is like the missing link between those two. And it's going to complement your software, but it's not a warehouse management system. There's going to be lightweight warehouse management systems. So if you do prep at home, or you use a prep center, it's going to be perfect. If you use a warehouse and potentially just do FBA, it's going to work pretty well for you. If you have myself, who has 2,000 different products and hundreds of different locations, you will need a warehouse management system. Again, if we were going to release a warehouse management system, we'd be charging like over 1,000. This is a free software. It's analytics, purchase orders, forecasting. Again, if you look at Inventory Planner, which is great software, $250 plus. So stock $250. We're doing some of that.
Private label led, so stocked as well.
Yeah. So again, Cool. Some more questions. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna add as much lightweight stuff as possible, but that's not our direction. Like you can't do everything. It
Yeah, and
you know,
we don't
we'd have to
want
charge a lot more
to.
money.
Yeah, we don't want to be that software that turns into something, and then we're adding this, and then we're adding that because we're worried about with the competition or doing this, whatever. This is going to have a very specific, um, you know, um, purpose for this particular software. And I would honestly struggle to stay. It's very difficult. It's almost like you want the guys to come into your mind and know what you know about the direction of where it's going to go and the things that it is going to add and the dynamic it takes and what it's going to change in people's businesses. Because guys, this isn't, we're all pretty cool people, of course, but in the sense that, we're not hard salespeople at the same time as well. So, we don't want to say it's going to do this. It's going to, it's going to change your whole life. No, there is going to be a game changer. There's no doubt about it. But because it's very difficult to pitch something that has never been done before, which is exactly what it is. So you guys don't know what to expect. We know what it is and we know how it's going to change the business, absolutely, and how it's going to change the game. And we're fully prepared for a lot of other people to jump on the bandwagon at some point and, add what we're putting into the software. But we'll always be a step ahead. And that's why we've combined it, with with the Hive as well. If there is something that needs to be built, then, we wait until the BeeStocked is at a level where, Jonny can move away from it, and then Jonny will build something else. But yeah,
Maybe.
we're not going to bloat it. That's exactly the right word.
That's a great comment, and actually, that's my answer.
Right.
So to build on that, definitely a good idea to avoid bloating it. Exactly. So if we start adding so many different features,
We don't want to do it.
We're not going to bloat it. Would it be great? It would be great to see possibility integrations to third-party application. That's exactly our goal.
Okay.
So that's the vision in mind I had, was why I wanted to add the products and bundles, because what that does is with the products, so like I said, with the alien bag and the Woody doll, you'll be able to integrate with the Limworks and Mintsofts, Channel Advisors, and all the different ones, and ShipStation, whatever it is, those APIs, and then you'll be able to use the inventory, local warehouse inventories from there, pull in that information into BeeStocked. Then it's going to work really well with BeeStock, and they're just going to work so well together. So we don't manage. So if an order comes in, we're not going to manage that local inventory level as of now, but it's going to be a really good complement to Limworks and Mintsoft, and having someone who's got a warehouse and looked around for those types of software. None of them have good FBA features, and none of them have good purchase order features that are good for Amazon sellers and people we work with. So that's why I built it myself in the first place. And obviously my company software is linked with Mintsoft and works great. It works so well. So that is the number one goal, is to have third-party applications that will complement the software. So the ones like Limworks, Mintsoft, hopefully like Zero and stuff like that, and what we can do, that is our goal. It will come at some point, but that's what we want. So it's the perfect complementary software for sure.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, that's our goal. As Jonny said, we want, yes, of course, you're going to have competitors in the market. Of course you are. But we want to work with as many people as possible. We just feel that that's best for enrichment of the community and development of people's businesses. So that's how we see it, essentially. So Matt said, whether we watched live tonight, and I know the other Matthew has dropped in the Hive group. But just to reiterate, guys, the Hive is a paid membership group. Okay, so, you always have people trying to join, and I understand some people don't realize it's a paid community, and I'm not saying we're gonna boot you out and never talk to you again from ecom or anything like that, but the Hive, ecom is where you guys come for your free information, for your never mind the buy box, which we're not going to stop doing, for posts, for tips, for help, and things like that. But the Hive is going to give us the opportunity to dive at a much deeper level. We're not going to all of a sudden stop talking about stuff. We're still going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about stuff that we talk about in the Hive. But you've got to remember, the Hive is probably going to be that extra 10%, of information that makes a difference. And it's not because we're holding the information back, it's because we don't have enough time to go into it to justify, essentially. So that is what, the Hive gives us the opportunity to be able to do. So I'm going to start to wrap things up a little bit here. I'm just going to run through the offer again, if that's okay. Mache, hopefully you got the answer to the question. If not, I'll drop me a message and I'll say it again. But ultimately today, the only decision you need to make is whether or not you want to sign up for the Hive, which is a brand new mastermind training group that is going to develop over time. And the first information that we're going to be covering is the bundle training, but it's going to cover eventually all aspects. I don't want the bundle training to feel like it's the star of the show. It's amazing content, if I don't say so myself, but at the end of the day, it's just the tip of the iceberg of the information, the processes, the templates, the standard operating procedures, the support, the motivation, the accountability, that this group is going to support people's businesses moving forward with regards to covering you across a multitude of different selling platforms, as well as different locations globally as well. So, you just got to look at it in the senses, the Hive. Do you know what it should have been? I've just realized the tagline should have been, the Hive, we got you. That's what it should have been, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it is in a nutshell. But for today only, oh my God, I'm going to sound like a car salesman here. For today only, you will get the opportunity to be able to be part of the alpha group. So that massive contribution, whilst it's in the final stages of development, to see how you maybe want things planned out, little features and things like that put into the system. You will get priority. Your voice will be heard in the alpha group for hearing that. And then you're also going to help us squashing bugs with, which, Chris, I completely agree. Yeah, we're going to give Freddos out for prizes for those, definitely. But you get that opportunity to join that. That goes from tonight. And the price will go up from tomorrow as well. So you're going to get it all for £99 per month plus VAT, and included, you will get grandfathered in at the starter package for BeeStocked. And when we say starter, it's still up to 3,000 units a month, or sorry, 3,000 orders a month, which, do the math. You've got to be doing 100 orders a day. Which the majority
that price increase happens after the alpha or beta, so it's not going to come in for a while anyway. So you're still 9. So if you're a massive seller right now, cheapest option on the market for the next 6, so it's free, right? So it's going to be the cheapest one anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you heard that from the horse's mouth. If you're doing 10,000 orders a month, you're going to pay cheap for the next 6 months, definitely. Well, don't hold me for that day, because I've got a funny feeling we're not going to be an alpha for beta for very long. The rate things get done around here, definitely, with Jonny at the helm. So that's it. And that closes tonight. Now, it's not a closed cart, so you will be able to join tomorrow, but it will cost more and you won't get access to the alpha. So you won't actually get access. You'll still get the software grandfathered in at the price that you've paid, but you will not get access to that software until it's released, which could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. We don't know at this stage, but you get the benefit of using the software, albeit maybe a little bit buggy at times, but at the end of the day, that's what we need your help for. So, but we'll talk about that more. But yeah, it's a bit of a, I don't want to sound like an idiot, I don't want to sound like that person, but it's a little bit of a no-brainer. And whatever way you want to justify it to yourself, you can. If you feel that you want to pay £99 for the software and get free training, fine, or the free mastermind group. Or if you want to feel that you're paying £99 for the free mastermind group, you're getting free BeeStocked for life for the time that you're a member. So, whatever way you want to look at it, it's entirely up to you. Both come as a package at the moment. They may be separated in the future, but as a minimum, the Hive is going to cost £99 on its own.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's
The
going to
very
be.
minimum. Just for
The
just
minimum.
it's again, no, it's very yeah, it's incredible value on its own. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
really am not going to go into the realms of justifying value and things like that. If you're
Yeah.
here, it's because you've either been referred here, or you've been directed here, or you've worked with one of us previously. So hopefully, you know that we're not the snake oil salespeople that promise you a load of stuff. We deliver. Everything we do is proven. And you know, if it's not proven, we say it's proven. Like, we're going to have a private label, Project Hawkeye, which I absolutely love. We're going to do an over-the-shoulder view of from conception to launch and beyond, of building a private label product. We don't know if it's going to fail. You know, it's one of those things. But I just think it's going to be fascinating to watch, essentially. But we're not going to bill that as proven, because it's not proven. It's something we've never done before. But, you know, if you choose to do it and we muck it up for whatever reason, you'll know what not to do. I think sometimes that's more valuable.
Yeah, it's like a subscription to like Netflix. You get the Amazon series, right, where you get to watch us build a private label business and see where we can take it, sort of thing. And you know, it's extra content that I think people will enjoy. And again, you get to see what's going on in our business, because it's gonna be run. I think it's gonna be run through my account. So you get to see what's going on in my business and how I'm gonna do it with my business. So you get that inside look, I guess. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's
That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is, you know, with previous stuff that I've done, you kind of get this. Don't get me wrong. The majority of everything I do is live. And I always think that's how you can tell, you know, the wheat from the chaff, or whatever it is. Because, you know, if you can't do it live, essentially, then I don't know if you should be doing it, you know, and I'm talking about training and things like that. You know, if you can't show that your knowledge is real, then, you know, for me, live training is one of the hardest ways, you know, one of the hardest things to be able to do if you are, you know, not what you say you are, essentially. So for me, I like to do a lot of my stuff live. So I think that's going to be so much fun, because what it's going to show is going to show that full creative process, why I've created a logo in the way that I've created it, and why I've put it where I have on the box. And, you know, is it important to have this particular image there? And why is it important to ensure that that person holding that product is looking straight down the camera? You know, that you'll see that in Inception at the start. And I think that's going to be really, really valuable. And I'm really looking forward to that more than anything else. Well, I'm looking forward to it all, but that I'm really excited about. And the accountability groups. Nobody's done that in this space, in these level of communities. And I think that's going to be a game changer. So, you know, being split into groups with, by the way, you'll get access to all of the general as well. But, you know, you're going to, and it's something to strive for as well. So if you're in group 1, your business is at a certain level, you're going to want to get to group 2. You're going to want to get all the way up to like group 5, which almost group 5 becomes where all the 7 and 8 figure sellers hang out. And you don't really get coached at that point. That's where all the high level strategies are talked about. It's almost like a war room, essentially. So, you know, yeah, no, it is. It's like a war room.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you know, that's going to provide motivation and accountability in itself. And I tell you what, the first session, live session that I'm really looking forward to, it's something that I've shown a few of my coaching clients, and it has actually changed the game for them. So because there's going to be a lot of information, like I said, that's going to be coming to people, and sometimes people get overwhelmed, and I understand that. And I deal with a lot of people who you know, suffer with procrastination and all these things that hold you back in business. So we're going to talk about the introduction tonight to the Hive, but I'm going to show you guys that have joined the Hive, obviously, how you can get your house in order, because I am a big believer in, it's great to grow, and it's great to scale for everything that we're going to show you how to do in a lot of our training. But if your foundation is not built correctly, then, you know, you are just kind of fill in that leaky kind of bucket. And that's what, you know, the brain is in terms of all the information that's going to be coming with you. This is going to help keep you accountable to the tasks that you have to do in your business in order to succeed.
It's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
But I need to get off because I need to reserve my voice for tonight.
Yeah, I need to get do some more coding, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the checkout has been dropped a couple of times. We're probably going to spam the life out of it between now and 7 o'clock in the group. So, and we might even use the everyone tag. So please don't be offended if we do. But if you're watching us here now, I really don't think you're that level of snowflake. So don't worry about it. But yeah, we're going to let you know. So just quickly, one final thing. If you've signed up and you haven't signed up to the group yet, that's where the live is going to be. So make sure, because that happens every time. We always say, don't leave it until 6:59 if you don't want to miss tonight's live first session. And then, you know, because we're going on the live at 7 o'clock. So we're not around to put people into the group and things like that. So don't blame us afterwards if you've signed up after 7 and you can't get in. So, you know, but everything is recorded, obviously, as well. So if you do miss it for whatever reason, please don't panic. Who's that? Have you seen the new live chats for the groups? Oh, what's that?
Not sure. We use StreamYard, so all the comments we see come through StreamYard. So,
yeah, that would be good if that is what I think it is. No, I've not seen that. So yeah, that would be if it's what I think it is. Could be good. Yeah, we'll look into that, Chris. Definitely. But yeah, let's have that checkout dropped one more time. We will post it in the group, guys. You are never going to get it as cheap. Well, not cheap. It's like the worst things call it is cheap, obviously. It's not cheap. It's amazing value for everything that you're going to get. And like I said, it's monthly, so you can come and go as you please. But what I will say, and, you know, this is the absolute truth, to get kind of, if you're going to sign up, I appreciate everyone wants to sign up and see if it's for them, obviously. But in order to get the best benefit out of it, it's definitely something you almost have to, you know, sort of say to yourself, I'm going to permanently be in the group. You know, if you leave and come back, we're not going to be mean and not let you in. But what I'm saying is it's almost like a monthly installment. You're better off looking at it and saying it's £99 a month. Okay, well, I'm committing annually to pay £1,200 to be part of this community and have this software. And then, you know, that's the way ultimately you should look at it. So, because I know some people do come to me and sort of like say, oh, you know, can I do the course and then come back? Absolutely, you can. But it has been designed to be, you know, a permanent member. Permanent sounds so permanent, you know, an ongoing membership. That's, you know, that's the way that we're looking at it as well. So still haven't been accepted into the Hive when I receive access. Who said that? Oh, Jonny. Matt, could you just post the link to the group again? Like I said, if you need the group, please just message us and we can pop that. Absolutely, Ray. Consistency, hashtag for sure. You know, that's what the group's going to be about more than anything else. But for those of you that have joined up already, welcome to the Hive. We are really, really looking forward to working with you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to help build your business, support your business, and work with you, you know, in order to facilitate the goals that you have set yourself. We're really, really grateful. We're really excited about everything that's going to happen in there moving forward. And yeah, we just can't wait to get going. So yeah, I'm on a full on buzz today for sure, for everything that's gonna come from here on out. So Jonny, is there anything else you want to add finally before we buzz off to the Hive? Get used to those cheesy jokes, guys. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think you covered it. It's going to be a wealth of information, and it's a steal going on from today. But yeah, like you said about the value sort of thing. But yeah, I think you covered the most of it, and just looking forward to getting started and people to start testing on my side, testing out the software and giving feedback. So, yep, just gonna get that out as soon as possible, and I think I'm hoping people are gonna find a lot of value from it. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, for sure. One final thing, because I know that there is obviously a little bit of crossover information that some people might be a little bit worried about, maybe speaking publicly, if you're an existing ESA member, please don't feel like you can't contact me, drop me a message. If you've got worries, concerns about certain things, but just to reiterate, I will keep everyone updated with regards to the Elite Sellers Academy. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I just want to make it absolutely clear. Yeah, those puns are going to come in. I just want to make it absolutely clear. If you've got any concern, please, please, please reach out to me. Do not suffer in silence. I want to know, what you've got to say. So please, please, please do reach out to me, because we want to make sure that everybody's looked after, no matter what. So that's it, really. This will be good. Yeah, this will be good. It will be, indeed. That honestly, when we picked it, there was literally endless puns that I could think of, and I'm like bad dad joke central. So even the recording I did for earlier, I was laughing at some of my own jokes in it. So if you've not worked with me that before, that's that's going to be a treat for you all for sure. Right. So before we, go on for another half an hour, let's say goodbye, guys. If you've jumped into the Hive, we'll see you there at 7:00. First live tonight, but you need to be part of the Facebook group. It's not going to be here. For anyone else, for whatever reason, you're not going to jump in today, we'll see you in the future, because once you start hearing what everyone else is saying about it, you're going to come in. There's no doubt about it. So if you're going to do it, you might as well come over now. But yeah, we'll sign off for now. See you tonight. Have a great day, everyone. And yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, see everyone soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.